Good afternoon. Let me go ahead and call this special meeting of the Rio Grande City Gruya Independent School District to order. It is Friday, August 27th, 2021. Current time is 12:01 p.m. and we're at the RGCGISD Family and Community Engagement Center located at 1 South Fort Ringgold, Rio Grande City, Texas. For purposes of determining a quorum, let me go ahead and take roll call. Daria Dr. B. Babinow, absent. Mr. Lizardo Velasquez Jr., absent. Mr. John A. Pope IV, present. Mr. Noe Castillo, present. Mr. Basilio D. Varela Jr.,
Present.
Mr. J. Peña,
I'm present.
and myself, Eddie Ramirez, present. Let the minutes reflect that there is a quorum to proceed. Section 2, Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Pope, will you help us with the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Pope. Section 3, action items. Item number 1, consider and take possible action on requisitions $5,000 and over. Do I have a motion or any discussion on item number 1?
Mr. President, I move that we approve item 1 with the addendum that was given to us.
There's a motion by Mr. Varela. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Second by Mr. Castillo. Any discussion required?
Good afternoon. I would just like to clarify, we
Go
do
ahead.
have one requisition that was on the original list, and it's also on the addendum, okay? That was 336213. On the addendum, we have a corrected, updated vendor. It's $2,000 less, so we are going with the addendum one.
What,
336213, originally Intech, and it's now going to be on the addendum list for the Dell. That is the only correction that we do have for update.
so it's cheaper.
It's cheaper,
Okay.
correct.
And I got a general question maybe for Mr. Peña, the superintendent. I know there's a lot of big ticket items for air quality control, computers, that kind of stuff. Is that something that we could get reimbursed by ESSER at some point?
Yes, sir. All of these, as you can tell, on the funding source, it'll be ESSER 3.
Okay. Any
And they're
further-
the ones that are labeled 282 will be the ESSER.
Got it. Any other discussion? Okay, there's a motion by Mr. Varela, a second by Mr. Castillo. All those in favor, so signify by raising your right hand. Same sign, motion carries. Let the minutes reflect that Mr. Velasquez is now present. It's 12:03 p.m. Item number 2, consider and take possible action on amendment of TASB policy FD local admissions. There's also an amendment provided to us by the superintendent, an amendment to FNCA local. Do I have any discussion or motion on item 2?
Mr. President, I move that we approve item 2 as presented with the additions that were also presented to us.
There's a motion by Mr. Varela. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Castillo. Any discussion? There being none, all those in favor so signify by raising your right hand. Same sign, motion carries. Item number 3, consider and take possible action on teleconference instruction initiative teacher pay rate, district coordinator, and support staff. Do I have a motion or any discussion on item 3?
Well, I move that we approve item 3 with discussion.
There's a motion by Mr. Varela. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
There's a second by Mr. Peña. We have a discussion by Dr. Salinas.
Mr. President, members of the board, Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Peña. On item 3, we have the student teleconference instruction. This is outlined by the state on criteria where the children can receive up to 20 days for instruction, teleconferencing instruction. And what we have here is 2 stipends for 2 professionals who have already begun this daunting task. I know they've been working endless hours, where we have a coordinator for the teleconferencing, student teleconferences, and we have the medical side, both teaming up to make sure we're tracking these children, make sure they meet the criteria to be receiving this type of instruction, and really outlining everything we're providing for them to make sure, of course, this is tied to funding, so we've got to be very, very specific on what we do and how we track it. So what you see before you on the packet, you see 2 stipends in the amount of $5,000 for the 21-22 school year for 2 professionals, a coordinator and a health professional, and you see 2 stipends for paraprofessionals, which will be tracked through hourly timesheets, up to 5,000. Whether it be used or not, that is the cap. And also, we've included that if there is a rate of 45 minutes of instruction at the high school, especially at the high school, that will equal to $30 an hour for any teacher giving up time to, as you get to the high school, it gets more specific, whether you're math, science, versus a generalist at the elementary. So what we're asking for are the 2 professional stipends, the 2 paraprofessional stipends to be tracked with timesheets, so we meet the wage an hour, and we're asking for the 45 minutes of instruction to equal $30 at 45 minutes.
So the stipends, are they going to be after school or during school, or, in other words, when are they going to do the tele-instruction, I guess?
So they're intertwined, Mr. Varela, but however, most of the work has been happening after school.
After school?
Yes, sir.
Wait, Dr. Salinas, are they on the same department, the stipends from the paras and from those 2 professionals?
Yes, yes. The only difference was we have one representative from CNI, and we have a representative, obviously, from the health department, which will be the director of health service.
Doc, who determines which instruction clerks will, or who they will be? Who determines that?
First, do you want me to explain a little bit? The reason we had to involve the health professional is that somebody needs to validate that there's indeed a reason, and it has to be a communicable disease. So curriculum didn't want to get involved with that, so I called Dr. Salinas that I need your help because we're going to have to work together and in partnership and in conjunction with each other. So I recommended, of course, that we use Roland since he's been the one assisting us. So they fill out a form. There's a Google form that we have set up. They get a QR code the minute that they let us know that they feel that they want to engage in remote conferencing. Then they fill out the form. The form asks a series of questions. That form gets channeled to Roland Barrera, who then approves or disapproves depending on what the information is. If he needs further documentation, he'll ask them to upload a picture, upload a document, or he'll either call them. So once he approves or disapproves, all of that gets channeled to San Juanita, who then proceeds to enroll them in an actual class or grade level, and they start the remote conferencing.
Before there's confusion, because I don't want it to seem that this is general remote instruction. This is instruction for those that have tested
It's
positive
remote conferencing for anyone who has a positive diagnosis for a communicable disease. And we're not the ones making the determination, it's the health with Mr. Rowland. But their department or himself is evaluating every single case. And if there needs further documentation, but it's not an automatic. It's not like a homebound for general students. It is for a student who has either tested positive for COVID, the flu, any contagious or communicable disease. It's not for, I have a condition that I need to stay home. That's a different situation.
Thank you for clarifying. There's a lot of misconception and confusion out there right now.
So to be clear, it could be the flu, it could be the measles, it could be any of the diseases that are communicable.
Yes, and there's a whole list that Mr. Barrera is aware of there, whatever is written in statute, so he's just going based on that. Like, for example, I think we had a student that requested that they had kidney problems. Well, what kind of kidney problems? So is it something that's contagious? Well, no, it's not a contagious or communicable disease. So that's the guidance that we have at this point for remote conferencing. It has to be a communicable disease.
It's remote conferencing.
Remote conferencing, yes.
Ms. Morris, it's also if a family has been quarantined because of a communicable disease?
It could be, but there still has to be proof. Like if they're close contact, let's say someone in the classroom was a close contact and they were contacted by the school, those are automatic. If you're a close contact to someone who has been tested positive for COVID or the flu or any other communicable disease, then that student would qualify as a close contact. But like again, Mr. Barrera is making those determinations.
Now, as far as the instruction clerks that will be getting this stipend, Mr. Barrera will be determining?
Mr. Barrera will be doing the health part, and then Ms. San Juanita will be doing the technology, the instruction, all of that. But I know that just in the last week, they've worked at least 80 hours just trying to get it started because we had no go-by, we had no one to call, we just had the guidelines and we based it off of that. So like in a week, we kind of put the virtual conferencing together, so.
I'd like to add an additional that it's, it's up to 20 days right now what TA allows, and it's up to the medical profession to decide, those number of days also. So it's not long-term, there is a cap. If it goes beyond the 20 days with a medical excuse, then we have to ask for a waiver.
And then they did pass a new guidance last week that if the child is medically fragile, meaning that maybe they're undergoing chemotherapy or they have a medically fragile condition, again, there's a criteria for what determines medically fragile, then they would qualify for beyond 20 days without a waiver. But those would be evaluated again by Mr. Barrera. So it all goes back to the health, whatever the decision the health person
And I
makes.
think it's important to state that, this criteria is given to us.
Yes,
not
it's given
something
to
that-
us. No, it's
not
given to
something the
us.
board can
No,
impose
no.
or the Board of
TA gives us the
Administration.
criteria, and they give us basically the definition of what is medically fragile, what is the list of communicable diseases. Those are provided by the agency to us.
Got it. All right,
I believe they added to the administrative code, Dr. Sparrow?
Yes.
Administrative code.
that's where it comes from?
Mr. President,
Yes,
I'd like to say that, they're doing an outstanding job. We've started school, we're on the second week, and we do have a lot of parents and principals asking, and, we're blessed to have these two individuals, and Ms. Morris to help us and guide us throughout this. So the hours, like she said, they are put in it. That's why we're bringing it to you, because it's long hours in the evening. Every day, we're in contact, with each other. So it is greatly needed, sir.
It doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you. Thank you for the hard work. All right, there's a motion. If there's not any further discussion needed, there was a motion by Mr. Varela, was seconded by Mr. Peña. All those in favor, so signify by raising your right hand. Same sign, motion carries. Item number 4, consider and take possible action on amendment of TASB policy DEE regulation, compensation and benefits expense reimbursement. Do I have any discussion or a motion on item 4?
Mr. President, I move that we approve item 4 as presented in our board packet.
There's a motion by Mr. Varela. Do I have a second to that motion? A second by Mr. Castillo. Any discussion needed? Item 4. I think if this is the mileage, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, you want to say, Mr. Peña, you want to explain that? Mr. Peña?
Yes, sir. We've added strategists this year, and they're doing an outstanding job as well in the curriculum and different departments. They're, facilitating and assisting at each campus. So they're at every campus 4 days out of the week. So we felt that, we do need to compensate them because they are going around, and we don't have enough vehicles, within the district to supply. So we're asking that we give them a monthly cap on mileage. And, we have several there that we're asking for, sir.
I think right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Peña, the truancy officers are working real hard. There's not enough vehicles for them either, so.
Yes, sir,
basically,
that
I
is
think-
correct.
And
Yes,
the-
we have several that we've listed here that would like for them to be considered because they are traveling. Our enrollment is 85% at the district level, so that's a very good attendance. And, we've worked very hard with the truancy officers. They've been assigned to different campuses, and they are helping out recruiting these students. We have till September 25th to recruit our students before they become dropouts. So it's very crucial that we work together, and we have a team helping the principals at the campus level in order to try to get as many students back.
And again, that cent per mileage is also state derived, it's state mandated, the amount to,
The amount is what has been approved in the past, sir.
But we do have a cap, correct?
yes.
Yes, sir.
What is the cap?
$125 a month.
What are the procedures with actually tracking the mileage?
Okay, the district has a set by transportation, sir. So that is for all employees in the district. So the district has already set how many miles is it from point A to point B, from campus to campus or throughout the community. So we follow that. So it's consistent throughout, and it's been board approved in the past.
With no further discussion, there's a motion by Mr. Varela, seconded by Mr. Castillo. All those in favor, so signify by raising your right hand. Same sign, motion carries. Item 5, consider and take possible action on request for permission to purchase 300 iPads for pre-kinder and kinder students. Do I have any discussion or a motion on item 5?
Mr. President, I move that we approve item 5 and 6. I think they're related as presented in our board packet, but I do have a couple of questions.
Okay, there's a motion by Mr. Varela. Is there a second?
A second, also subject to discussion.
Okay. Second, Mr. Peña, discussion.
Okay, my discussion is real simple. How many kids do we have in our district right now, Mr. Peña? Our children?
As of today, sir, we have 8,145 students.
Okay. The only thing I was going to ask, my question is, apparently, I'm sure we have many hundreds of computers that we haven't collected. So my question, I know we're ordering 300. I can understand the iPads for the little kids. That's easy. But the 300 Chromebooks, and it's okay, we maybe approve them, but are we going to work on trying to get the computers that we have out?
Yes, sir. We've met with the principals, and we'll be meeting this afternoon again with them. We're asking them to be the first contact because they're the ones that checked them out, so they have the login numbers. So principals will be reaching out to those students who have not returned to school so we can pick up all devices. our truancy officers are available to support the principals at the campus, and they can go out and help pick them up as well. But yes, we are going to pick them up, sir, because we do need them.
Any ideas how many we picked up so far, Mr. Peña?
The seniors were picked up already for
Okay.
sure, but
How
From
many,
last year.
maybe you could help me out, man.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just to clarify, the senior laptops have been collected. For the most part, I want to, if I can give an estimate, it's about 86% of them have been collected. We're missing some. The problem that we're seeing is that 1/3 of those collected do not work. So that's a very high number. Yeah, and they've already gone through technology, so that's the number that technology just gave me right now.
So
Yeah.
1/3 do not work?
Right. They do not, they, either the screens are broken, the hard drive is not operating, different things.
But they were brand new when they were given, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So you say we've collected 100?
And those are senior laptops. And then we have, at the libraries, we have, for example, Rio High, she gave me a number of 48 last week, not working computers that are still not senior computers. These are regular 9th through 11th grade, and again, they're not repairable.
Okay, so
So-
you said 150, but don't we have a lot more seniors than 150, ma'am?
Oh, no, that's only what he has worked on.
Okay.
They're cleaning them.
So, but how many, have we collected all this, how many?
We collected 578.
Okay. And we're giving them, I guess, to the freshmen, or what are we doing with those computers?
With those laptops, we're going to distribute through the other libraries so that they can be distributed to the students. Let's say Ramirez Elementary, for example, she already gave me a number. She needs 38 laptops. So she's going to get from there.
all students kept them, right, miss? So 8th graders kept their laptops.
Yes.
So
Uh-huh.
freshmen, they had them from their 8th grade year.
Okay.
So these are new to the district or new that
Or-
are broken?
Right. Or that they broke it and they need a replacement or things like that.
So let me ask you, Eddie, so when we buy computers, the warranty is only 1 year? And there's no way of getting extended warranties on these things? Yeah, but, okay, but at the end of the day, if we're paying $50 and let's say for laptop, what does the extended warranty look like? How many years?
3 years.
Yeah, that, okay.
Insurance.
The best
insurance.
option is insurance, and I did look into it, and it's not that expensive. The only thing is that it would be a cost incurred by the parents, but it's something between, depending on the device, between $25 and $45 a year, which as a parent, I don't think that's too much when you're getting
And
that
there's a
device.
deductible as well, I think. And then there's a deductible as well, I think.
This one did not have, they did not mention a deductible. It was actually a very good deal, but
Can you maybe bring it to the next board meeting and see? Because I see we're buying all these computers and we're having a lot of them broken down. For $50, let's say, if $50, if it's 50 of them, it's $2,500. And I'm just saying, each computer, I guess, runs around $700, $800 more or less. So if you look at 50, pues you're looking 35,000 to pay just a couple of $1,000. It makes no sense not to have it. No, we're talking about insurance now, not warranty. Because
the question that I had at that time is, do we go, because it's a different route, do we go with insurance as of the district incurring the insurance, or the parents? doing it, because
That-
it's different.
That's what I was gonna ask. I think we need to get some options. If the school can cover that so the parents don't have to, why not?
I'm
Okay.
just saying, in the long run, it's gonna save us a lot of money. And
Yeah.
Because, right now, how many computers do you say we have, broke? No, but how many do we have presently, percentage-wise, how many do we have broken?
A third.
Let's say they're 40. 40 computers, at $1,000, 40 grand versus $4,000 or $5,000.
And those 40 are only at the technology department. We have not looked at what's at the libraries. That's another bunch, like a big.
Maybe
I
find
don't-
out also
yeah.
if, because I know like in cars, you can get insurance even after you buy them and they're not new. So
Yes,
maybe
you can.
they do have that
Yes,
even for
yes,
used computers.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that I
Okay.
did ask.
Okay, check it out.
Okay.
Well, I know that, for example, you get, no, but
Like this piece.
you can get insurance after the fact.
But also, just to make the board aware, that's a 40% probability of issues happening with the devices we have with high school students, right? These are pre-K and kinder students. So I would assume the probability might be a little higher, that there's going to be some destruction to it. But so does the cost take into account protective sleeves and whatnot?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we will
That's
look at all
factored
that.
in there already?
Yes.
Well, can I just maybe amend the motion here and just say, we approve item 5 and 6 as presented in our board packet and also basically to insure these products. Start it now.
I agree.
And I think it's something we need options on because they're being purchased with extra money. I'm sure the insurance can also be purchased the same way.
Can
We don't want to,
insurance-
we don't want to put the cost
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the parents.
But I think that from now on, we need to buy devices, and like Jay is saying, probably in pre-kinder, they're going to be probably 50%.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I want to make this motion to add that we buy insurance for these things.
Okay, yeah, we'll look into
Okay,
it.
there's an amended motion by Mr. Varela. Is there a second?
Thank you.
Second by Mr. Castillo on that. All those in favor so signify by raising your right hand. Same sign, motion carries.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir, Mr. Peña.
can you just add that if it's over 5,000, that the superintendent has the authority on the insurance?
Sure, yeah.
Let me amend the motion again.
Sorry.
Item 5 and 6, as a presented board packet, with the ability to get insurance for these products and allowing the superintendent to purchase these insurances if they are $5,000 and over.
Okay, there's a second amended motion by Mr. Varela. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Castillo. All those in favor so signify by raising your right hand. Same sign.
One last
Second,
question,
the motion
sir.
carries.
Real quick, the 300 Chromebooks are going to be for?
Good afternoon, members of the board. Mr. Peña, the 300 Chromebooks are for new students that have not received a device or for students that last year chose not to take a device but need a device this year.
And the
So
300
anybody that does
iPads are
not
for
have one.
the 300 iPads are for the kindergarten, right?
Correct, because
Okay.
they don't have a device.
Okay.
Thank you. Item 7, consider and take possible action on request to purchase teacher laptops for new teachers to the district. Do I have a motion or any discussion on item 7?
I move that we approve item 7 as presented in our board packet with the caveat that they get insured also.
There's a motion by well, you want to add the part about the superintendent being able to purchase?
Well, he's already, okay, with giving the authority to the superintendent to purchase if it goes over $5,000 and over.
There's a motion by Mr. Varela. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second by Mr. Peña. Any discussion required on item 7?
I wonder how many of these will be broken. Those teachers. Yeah.
Mr. Science will fix the... All right, no further discussion required. There's a motion by Mr. Varela, was seconded by Mr. Peña. All those in favor, so signify by raising your right hand. Same sign, motion carries. Item 8, consider and take possible action on request for permission to purchase wireless access points. I know this is a follow-up to information that Mr. Varela and Mr. Peña had sought. So, Mr. Science, you want to present on that?
Yes, yes. We went back and went on RFP out for 8x8 radios. These are top-of-the-line radios. We did get the 3 quotes back, very competitive. Low bid was Aruba, second Cisco, and third was Ruckus. And I know Mr. Barrial mentioned that he hadn't heard of Aruba, so I asked him to include a list of ISDs that they've worked with. And I hope Mr. Varela doesn't take it into consideration that one of the universities is Texas A&M. But they do take care of UTRGV, UTSA, along with all the ISDs there. That's just a handful. And it is a great product, but we really don't have, we could go Aruba or Cisco. They're both great products. They are number 1 and number 2 respectively. So we are recommending Aruba. They are low bid. They are great wireless access points. But if the board decides to go with name recognition, we have no issue with that either. Whichever.
But correct me if I'm wrong, if we're using federal monies, we have to go with the lowest bid, correct?
Oh, we do?
There's no leadway in this stuff.
Oh, I didn't know
In
that.
3 quotes, you have to go with the lowest bid, correct, Ms. Gonzalez?
Okay, so then that makes it cut and dry then. Our recommendation is that we go with Aruba, low bid, and it will be purchased through ESSER funding, and these do have limited lifetime warranty, so we don't have to worry about them being broken.
By the way, Aruba sounds like a vacation place.
Sometimes we need something like that.
Aruba was going to be your recommendation anyway, right?
Yes, sir.
$18,000.
A difference of 18,000, but they're all, like I said, they're 8x8 radios, they are top of the line, good for at least 5 years, easily, maybe more.
The only thing we're bound to go to the lowest bid, and even when you take quotes, there's no negotiation in the federal level.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so do I have a motion on item 8?
I move that we approve item 8 as presented with the recommendations.
Okay, there's a motion by Mr. Varela. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second by Mr. Peña. All those in favor so signify by raising your right hand. Same sign, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sines. Item number 9, consider and take possible action on agreement between Curative Incorporated and Rio Grande City Gruya ISD for kiosk COVID-19 testing for students, staff, and community. Is there a motion or any discussion on item 9?
I will move that we approve item 9 as presented.
There's a motion by Mr. Varela. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second by Mr. Peña. Any discussion? If I'm not mistaken, this is just that,
Yes, sir.
the
So
check
we're-
at the front entrance, right?
Yes, we're trying to reapprove it again, so our contract expired. They are still helping us out. It is a big service to our community. It's free PCR testing, free flu testing, free strep testing. So we highly recommend that we continue working with Curative.
And it was just to renew the contract that
Just to
expired?
renew the contract.
And it's
yes,
free
sir.
of, free?
It is free, yes.
Any further discussion? There's a motion by Mr. Varela, second by Mr. Peña. All those in favor, so signify by raising your right hand. Same sign, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Varela. Item 10, consider and take possible action on selection of site location of new Gruya Middle School. There's a presentation by Mr. Bazan and Mr. Marin Lopez.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Good afternoon. Try to get the mic a little bit. There you go.
Again, good afternoon, Mr. President.
Good afternoon.
Members of the board, Mr.
Pick it
Peña.
up.
You can hold. There you go.
My name is Delfino Garza. I'm the architect for the new middle school. And I'm here to give you a recommendation on site selection for this new school. I looked at two different sites for this new school. The first being the location of the existing middle school in La Gruya, and the second is a site adjacent to the Gruya High School, adjacent to the west side. And based on space availability, environmental factors, infrastructure, and efficient resources, I'm recommending that the second site, the one that's adjacent to the high school, be selected for this new school. And you can ask me questions as to the why of it, but we consulted with a civil engineer, and based on what I saw, and this is what I came up with.
So you're recommending the site, I guess, next to the high school?
Adjacent to the high school, that is correct.
And then also, Mr. Garza, the other site would be where it's currently located at, is that correct?
Where
That's
it's at,
the other
yes,
one
sir.
where it was
That
assessed.
is correct.
If it was in that site, there would obviously be demolition costs, or Would it be something that could possibly just improve on what's on that site, or?
That site would fit the new middle school. However, you have to demolish most of the buildings and displace the students and relocate them to another school during construction.
Let me ask you another question, Mr. Garza. I remember when Beulah came in, I know that that school got isolated.
Yes, sir.
In other words, where the tracks go, that school basically stayed as an island. Would that be a right assessment or not?
That's what I looked at under the environmental factors, and it happened about 3 years ago, and again around 2006, and Beulah was even further back since then, but apparently the site does not get flooded. It becomes an island, but people have to be evacuated from La Grulla, and I didn't put it down, but there's people that have moved out of La Grulla because of that. Based on all that stuff, and when La Grulla floods, so does the infrastructure. So the water that's there is contaminated by the sewer system. So that's another deal. I wouldn't put a new school there.
Sir, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
What would be the cost of demolishing all that and the time if that would be the case, just so people would know that? An estimate or what have you?
We're demolishing a new school in Laredo, and it's about 45,000 square feet, and the cost on demolition alone was like right under 300,000. So I would think that that's about what this would be as well.
Mr. Garza.
Yes, sir.
I do agree with you, but I think the cost does not matter. It's taxpayers' money. I would like, if we could, do a survey to the La Grulla area with the pros and cons, and let the community decide where to put that middle school.
Again, this is a recommendation, and we'll certainly do whatever the board, directs us to do.
Well, the only thing I say we have to look, I think, my concern is when floods come in, that place is isolated. I mean, it's just tough. And the fact of the matter, over there next to the high school, we do have all the infrastructure ready. At the end of the day, we have to do, I think, what's best for the kids. And I know that place has gotten flooded, I guess, several times since the 2000 this way. And with that said, I'm going to move. And Mr. Garza has been an architect forever and a day, so I'm going to take his recommendation. I'm going to move that we approve item 10 as per recommended by our architect, Delfino Garza.
What's the target date of construction?
We're hoping that'll be right after the end of the year. That's when we would start.
If I may add, Mr. President,
Go ahead,
we
Mr.
looked at enrollment, in that area, and, the year before enrollment, not right now during the COVID or post-COVID, it was less than 18% of the students live in that area. So a good majority of the students live in La Victoria, Alto Bonito, and Garciasville. So the recommendation that Mr. Garza is giving is really kind of the center of the community.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, La Casita, Garciasville, La Union people, La Victoria, La Paloma, La Victoria, all those people, that school represents all of them. It doesn't only represent the kids from that particular area. And with that said, I make a motion to approve item 10 as recommended by our architect.
All right, there's a motion by Mr. Varela. Is there a second to that motion? Second, Mr. Pope. All those in favor so signify by raising your right hand.
Abstain.
Was it 5-1? 5-1. Motion, 5 in favor, 1 abstention. Motion passes. The board will now convene in executive or closed session in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code Sections 551.071 through 551.076 and 551.082 through 551.084. The time is 12:35 p.m. We are now reconvened back in open session. The time is 1:04 p.m. Section 5. Do I have a motion on item A?
I believe there's no action on item A, Mr. President, so with that said, I move that we approve item A, item B, and item C, right? As discussed in closed session, and I move that we approve those three items discussed in closed session.
So there's a motion by Mr. Varela to approve item A, B, and C. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Castillo. All those in favor so signify by raising your right hand. Same sign, motion carries. Meeting is hereby adjourned. It is 1:05 p.m. Thank you so much.